Good evening. I would like to start by saying what an honor it is to be accepting this award on Jen's behalf. I'm not only privileged to have called Jen a teammate here at Millersville, but also a true lifelong friend. And I cannot think of a more deserving athlete and person to be inducted into the Millersville Hall of Fame. So it is with great pleasure that I share a few thoughts Jen wishes she could actually present to you herself this evening. Good evening. Although I wish I could be with you in person tonight for this celebration, I'm grateful for my dear friend and teammate Jess, who is willing to share some thoughts with you on my behalf. 1 year ago this week, I moved with my husband Craig and adoptive son Samuel to Chiang Rai, Thailand. We are serving with the mission agency Go Nations in addressing the issue of human trafficking. We're also progressing in the process to adopt our 4-year-old daughter Grace, who joined our family unexpectedly 5 months ago. I want to thank the election committee for the great honor of being inducted into the Hall of Fame here in Millersville. I am truly humbled, and I think of how there are so many people that were influential in my accomplishments here at MU. Soccer is a team sport, and through playing soccer, I have learned that life is also a team sport. And no individual succeeds on his or her own, but is rather surrounded by a team of players that each take part in the play that leads to the winning goal. And so I want to thank my family for their constant encouragement and support in every life decision and endeavor I've made. I want to thank the MU Athletic Program for developing the women's soccer program, which was in its early years when I came to MU. I want to thank my coaches, Trevor and Linda Lee Hershey, who challenged me to be a greater player and leader than I ever thought I could be. I want to recognize and thank my teammates, a group of gals with whom I have lifelong memories and from whom I learned lifelong lessons. As a brand new commuting student at MU in January of '99, I knew nothing about the women's soccer team, nor did I intend to search them out or play. One day, a gentleman from my church approached me and commented, "Hey, I know Coach Hershey over at MU. Why don't you give him a call? Go check the team out. You should play." I was surprised by the idea. As a commuting, working student, there was no way I had time to play a collegiate sport. Besides, I hadn't played soccer since graduating from high school almost 2 years earlier. He was persistent in his encouragement, and I finally decided to make the call. Coach Hershey graciously listened to my hesitancy and invited me to just practice with the team in the off-season with no commitment. Then they invited me to join the team on their trip to Bermuda that summer. After returning from the trip, I decided I couldn't just vacation with the team and not play with them for the season. And so my career as a Marauder officially began. Since graduating from Millersville, I've often shared with people that my time playing with the MU soccer team was one of the most life-shaping times of my life. As a quiet person, I preferred to hide in the shadows. But very early in my career, I was pushed outside of my comfort zone, realizing that others were looking to me as a leader. I gained confidence throughout my 4 years in leading by example, realizing that I didn't need to have a dynamic, charismatic personality in order to effectively lead and positively influence others. And this experience has motivated me to be a positive influence in whatever life setting I find myself in. I learned how holding a high standard and attitude and unity can determine the level of victory for a sports team, even more than their level of physical skill. One of my greatest memories at Millersville was celebrating with my teammates when we upset Lock Haven in the semifinal game of the PSAC playoffs during my senior year. While this moment could be considered the highlight of my career, I have an even greater memory. Several days after our win at Lock Haven, I walked off the field at Bloomsburg at the end of the PSAC championship game. After playing to a tie, the game was decided by penalty kicks. Mine was one of several MU shots that did not make it into the back of the net that day. And I remember the feeling of disappointment as I headed to the sidelines. I felt a sense of responsibility as captain of my team. As I looked into the faces of my teammates and coaches, I was amazed. Not a single head hung low, and there was a smile on pretty much every face. This amazing group had learned to walk through a season of ups and downs together in unity, encouraging one another, focusing on our strengths, and celebrating our victories. With this attitude, we always came out on top. Rather than walking away in defeat that day, we celebrated with great joy our runner-up accomplishment. This lesson has impacted the way I relate to people in every area of my life. By encouraging others, focusing on strength, and walking in uncompromised unity, a team chooses to always walk in victory, no matter what the circumstantial outcome is. During my time as a Marauder, I grew in my faith in God. I came to realize that even my ability to play soccer came from Him, and that as I played to the best of my ability, I was worshiping Him. In everything I do throughout life, whether work or play, I desire to do as an act of worship to God, recognizing He is the one who gives me life, abilities, and opportunities. I thank God for the ability and opportunity to play soccer here at Millersville, and for the way this experience has impacted my life. I'll close with a quote from Leo Biscaglia that I kept in my locker during my time here at Millersville. "Your talent is God's gift to you. What you do with it is your gift back to God." Thank you very much, and God bless.